Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the man in the black mask, and I want to read and share this article with you because this is just one of my best topics, one of my favorite topics in terms of the legal system and everything else, and how badly it's designed, how it's designed for certain people to fail once they fall into the system. So yeah, Judge ousts Jane Spears from Britney Spears conservatorship. Now I should have brought this out like Thursday, but I'm here now. I want to read and share with y'all because I got a lot to say on this topic. Okay, I got way too much to say on this. This is just too important for me to ignore. So yes, this is from page 6. Britney freed from dad. Judge ousts Jane Spears from conservatorship. Then go, Judge Penny. Do the right thing. Let Britney go, man, and give her the life that she desires. Los Angeles. Britney Spears won big in court on Wednesday when a judge declared her dad's control over her life was toxic and granted the pop superstar's request to oust him as conservator of her estate. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Brenda Penny agreed that it was in Britney's best interest to suspend Jamie Spears from the legal arrangement that has controlled his famous daughter's life and money for the last 13 years. Something that I call bullshit on because it didn't need to stretch 13 years. Okay? 13 years, I think that's just a little too fucking much. The current situation is untenable, she said, after hearing arguments from both Jamie and Britney's attorneys. It reflects a toxic environment which requires the suspension of James Spears effective today. Penny handed down the monumental decision before a packed room of onlookers, and a mass of hashtag Free Britney supporters rallied outside, holding signs and chanting Free Britney so loudly that it could be heard inside the courtroom. Oh, you could even have your headphones on and still hear the crowd screaming. And it's good though. I'm glad Britney has won. Well, is winning actually because she has another hearing on November 12th, and then the judge will decide whether to kill the guardianship entirely. And I hope that she does. The ruling came after the toxic singer's attorney, Matthew Rosengart, petitioned the court to immediately suspend Jamie Spears from the role by Wednesday, arguing that his continued involvement has done nothing but prolong the Kafkaesque nightmare that has been Britney's life since the conservatorship was established in 2008. Rosengart asked the court to appoint certified public accountant John Zabel as temporary conservator to Britney's $60 million estate while he works to dissolve the conservatorship entirely. Penny on Wednesday agreed to Zabel's appointment, even as Jamie's attorney, Vivian Thoreen, tried to argue that appointing a stranger to take over the conservatorship wasn't the right move. Well, they can shut up. It is now. Because Zabel is a trusted accountant. He's a licensed accountant, so he ain't no stranger. So don't be surprised if he's managed the financial affairs of other celebrities in the past. Think about it. Matthew Rosengart ain't no stranger. He's a celebrity client, and one of his former clients was Sean Penn. It's not an appealable order, Penny shot back at Doreen. The 39-year-old Grammy winner, who was not at the highly anticipated hearing, gave 2 days of dramatic testimony in the case over the summer, calling the legal arrangement abusive and saying it had been used to ruin her life. Now that James has been suspended from the conservatorship, Rosengart said his top priority is dissolving the arrangement altogether, and the termination hearing has been set for November 12th. Well, congrats, man. I'm glad Jamie is out of the guardianship and therefore should have never been appointed in the first place. Let's just say, right, it might have felt right at the time, but does it feel right now? Absolutely not. Not even close. Because Britney, no, James has done nothing but cause problems for his daughter. He has done nothing but torture Britney. Has done absolutely nothing to get her wealth. Only worse. Now, while mental health evaluations are typically done before such arrangements are dissolved, Rosengart said outside a court Wednesday that it's his hope and expectation that it won't be necessary ahead of the November court date. I hope to God it ain't either, but you never know what might come out. I'm just praying that whatever comes out, that it's the right thing and only the right thing. And the right thing is the right thing and only thing that gets done, not the wrong thing. Mr. Spears himself, in his latest filing, said not once, not twice, but 3 times that no mental evaluation was necessary. Britney doesn't believe a mental evaluation is necessary, and I certainly don't. So that's telling, Rosengart said. What today was about was suspending Jamie Spears, receiving the files, receiving the communications between Jamie Spears and his representatives, and we succeeded in every regard on all those fronts, he continued. This was a monumental win for Britney and for justice. In the days and weeks leading up to the hearing, Rosengart and Jamie's attorneys have been trading legal blows in a flurry of petitions and motions filed before the court, and those arrangements continue. No, those arguments continued on Wednesday. Doreen argued Zabel is not fit to manage Britney's estate because he got experience and was duped out of $1 million in a fraudulent real estate in 2007. She complained that little information was known on Zabel and told the court suspending Jamie would be an extreme remedy when he's had an impeccable record over the last 13 years as conservator. Well, they should have said under false pretenses, because he didn't do nothing but torture Britney. And that's why Britney cried hysterically when she testified on the stand, because of what that son of a bitch did to her all these fucking years. And this stems back from her childhood. All the fucking shit that Britney got to go through now is because of her father, okay? Anybody else would have killed that motherfucker. Rosengart fired back that Jamie is a cruel, toxic, and abusive man who Britney has been afraid of since she was a child, and Zabel's accolades and qualifications far exceed the star's father's. He countered that there is a mountain of evidence showing Jamie is unfit for the role, and his toxic, untenable presence mandates an immediate suspension. Fucking A. Britney deserves to wake up tomorrow without her father as her conservator, he said. Shortly after Rosengart originally petitioned to have Jamie removed from the role, the dad agreed in a court filing to step down when the time is right. And in September, he filed to dissolve the arrangement altogether, saying circumstances have changed to such an extent that the conservatorship is no longer necessary. Doreen repeatedly argued in court Wednesday that Penny should grant that petition instead of suspending Jamie, because it's what Britney has asked for numerous times, and it would render other matters before the court moot, meaning questionable. But Rosengart pleaded with the judge to boot Jamie and said the only reason why the dad did a 180 and asked to dissolve the arrangement is because he wants to avoid getting deposed and having to hand over years of revealing documents in the case. Now imagine what's in those documents once they're distributed to the public. Once they become public domain, wait till you hear what comes out. And I hope to God that fucking Jamie gets his ass locked up for a long time, okay? He needs to go to fucking prison. This kind of reminds me of Dee Dee Blanchard and Gypsy Rose Blanchard. What that fucking fat fuck did to Gypsy. To such an extent that Gypsy resorted to having that piece of shit killed. That's not to say that she was right to do what she did, but Gypsy fucking snapped. And that could have been Britney. Alright, what's the big deal? What are they afraid of? Rosengart said in defense of the suspension. What he's afraid of is a revelation of his corruption. Yes. Think about Donald Trump and his presidency. Think about a whole bunch of shit that's going to come out years down the line. Because half the shit that he did as a president, he did under false pretenses. And half of it was criminal. Just like James Spears with the conservatorship. Think about that. James Spears tortured his own fucking daughter for no reason. He was very hostile towards his own daughter. Treated everybody else like fucking kings and queens. But Britney, a piece of shit. That's what he saw her as. But she ain't no piece of shit after all, now is she? Now that Jamie has been suspended, he'll be required to turn over 13 years' worth of filings in the case, including communications he had with his attorney. It's in those records Rosengart believes Jamie's corruption will be revealed, he told the court. Doreen maintained Jamie is guilty of no wrongdoing, and the dad has reiterated the same claims, saying he was always acting in the best interest of his daughter. Fuck that! Britney had been privately fighting to remove her father from the conservatorship, but didn't speak out publicly against the arrangement until a dramatic June 23rd court hearing where she called on Jamie to be jailed and alleged that he drugged her, forced her to take birth control, and made her work against her will. At the time, Britney was still being represented by Samuel D. England III, the same attorney who was originally appointed to her case in 2008, and told the court she didn't know that she could hire her own attorney even though she desperately wanted one. Well, better late than never. She got her own lawyer now, Matt Rosengart, a celebrity lawyer. 3 weeks later, Penny granted Spears the right to hire Rosengart, who promised from the outset that he'd move aggressively to oust Jamie and set Britney free once and for all. Congratulations, Mr. Rosengart. You've done a good job, man. This doesn't happen without you. Never did, never will. And whatever you did for Sean Penn years back, I'm sure he'd congratulate you too. Now, I'm glad that we're going to talk about conservatorships and guardianships, because such legal arrangements, they need to be outlawed, because half that shit calls for abuse and torture. They tend to isolate disabled people from their friends and family. You know, they can take your kids, take your animals, take your fucking TV, your computer, your fucking cell phone, and everything else in between, the whole shebang. I'm telling you, that's when the torture begins. They come as your friends and go as your enemies. And think about what Henry Hill said in Goodfellas, Ray Liotta. Your murderers come as your friends and go as your enemies. Something to that extent. And I'm glad Britney Spears is going to find freedom, because this piece of shit, conservatorship, guardianship, is designed to fuck you out of your self-worth and everything that you're made of. It turns you into something that you just don't want to be. A fucking slave. A house Negro. You understand? I'm not going to say the N-word because a lot of you are going to be offended. That's why I said house Negro, okay? Treat you like a runaway slave. Hell, they can even beat you like one. I mean, this system is fucking bullshit. And I'm glad that the Free Britney Act has been made into law to give those under conservatorship, guardianship, the power to make certain decisions on their own behalf, even though they won't be able to make every decision on their own behalf, but they'll be able to make some, including choosing who they want to manage their affairs instead of the court appointing a total fucking stranger. Now, speaking of strangers, I'm sure a lot of you have kids and grandkids, and you want to teach them a lot about stranger danger. It's hard to avoid that when you're under a conservatorship guardianship. Because, hell, they can even appoint a fucking serial killer, and you wouldn't be able to sleep good at night. No fucking way. And you should also watch this movie on Netflix, I Care About You, starring Gone Girl actress Rosamund Pike. Check that out, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. And also watch this documentary, Framing Britney Spears. And also this Netflix documentary, Britney vs. Spears. I have to check that out, man. I haven't checked it out yet, but I will. I will. I promise you that. I will watch that shit. I mean, who the fuck mandated such illegal arrangements anyway? I mean, it ain't nothing but a slave bus that you gotta ride in for the rest of your fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Guardianships almost never end. They are almost certain to last until death. And I'm also left to wonder, what if Britney was black? Would they have fucked with her like that? Or even if they did, what would the outcome be? Because they definitely would have appointed a stranger and a Caucasian. But I know a lot of you think that such legal arrangements need to come to an end. But I will say this. There are some people that have to remain under conservatorship guardianship, but at the same time, they should be able to choose who they want to manage their own affairs. I mean, that's the way I feel, you know what I'm saying? Me, I wouldn't want a stranger fucking with me unless I trust that person. Depends on what kind of history I have with this person and what he has done for me, instead of what he has done to me. Okay? If that man or woman has been nice to me all my life and has done mad shit to me that nobody else would have the balls to, then yeah, I would want that person to manage my affairs. But I wouldn't just fuck with anybody, especially a fucking piece of shit family member. I got plenty of those, man. Half the motherfuckers didn't do shit for me, you know? But it's okay. Everybody's their person at the end of the day. And I'm sure there's always going to be a time when those skeletons are going to come out the closet. And that's what happened in James Spears' case. His skeletons are coming out of the closet. Once those documents are distributed and become public domain, his fucking ass is going to jail. And I hope to God that Britney is the one that locks up James and throws away the key. He has done everything to fuck that girl up, man. For no fucking reason at all, man. All because he wanted to be a fucking tough guy. Well, guess what? It's all coming back to bite them in the ass. This also goes to show that there's always going to be somebody better than you. Always somebody better than you. Now think about that Dee Dee Blanchard murder case, okay? Think about why Gypsy Rose Blanchard had her piece of shit mother Dee Dee killed. All the shit that he's done to her since birth. I'm not saying this to glorify murder or justify it in no way, shape, or form. I'm just saying it's commonplace for people to snap and go over the edge after you've fucked them for so long. These things happen. I want you to be aware of that, okay? You have to be aware of that. Because this could happen to you. The person that you might have mistreated all these years, you can brace yourself for what happens later on. Brace yourself. That person's going to snap. He's going to fight back. Or she, whoever that person is to you. Especially how parents treat their kids, man. Treat them like best friends. And only to abuse them in the process. Especially to a certain extent. It may not always warrant legal action, but 99% of the time it does. Because some of the parents do sneaky shit behind the court's back. Especially when it involves their kids. Some parents are fucking assholes when it comes to their kids. How in some cases a grandparent can be just as worse as the parent. But I've had my share of toxic family members. You know, that's not to say everyone is toxic, but I've had my fair share of them, just like some of you. A lot of us have been verbally and physically abused to a certain extent, especially in a way that traumatizes us or make us who we are, either in good ways or in bad ways. But it's up to us to exploit that in a certain way, either in a positive way or in a negative way. But I sure hope that Britney exploits her past in a positive way, especially when it comes to bringing James Spears to justice. I do clearly believe that James Spears committed a crime. A lot of you can attest to that too. Do you not? If so, or if not so, leave a comment underneath the screen and tell me what you think. I am dying to hear from you. Because this is fucked up, man, on so many levels. I mean, Britney did not deserve to have what happened to her happen to her. Yes, she needed to be fostered with guidance and everything else, but for the conservatorship to stretch 13 years and almost beyond if the judge says no to killing the conservatorship, that's just fucked up, man. I'm glad Britney hired Matthew Rosengart. He has done a lot for so many celebrities. And he was a federal prosecutor, too. So you definitely would be stupid to challenge him. I'm glad Britney got rid of that piece of shit Sam Ingham III, too. Because had Sam Ingham still been allowed to represent Britney and her father, guess what? Britney would not have stood a chance to get out of the conservatorship. But I'm just glad things are becoming easy for her. Britney's about to ride the freedom boat. You know what I'm saying? She just took a vacation with Sam Asghari. Good luck to her. And Britney can remove that IUD once the judge signs off on the termination of the guardianship come November 12th. Because Rosengart has promised from day one that he would do everything in his power to get that conservatorship killed and hold James Spears accountable for some of the shit that Britney experienced. And it was his fault that Britney got his kids took from her and can't see them as much as she wants to. Well, now that's all going to change now that James Spears is out of the conservatorship. And now that her accountant, her interim conservator, is going to oversee her finances from here on out until November 12th. And I'm also hoping Brenda Penny says yes. She has done the right thing so far. She's done everything good by Britney, and I want her to keep up the good work and continue to do the right thing, and only the right thing. Don't do nothing wrong when it comes to Britney, okay? Her life is in your hands. You need to foster the same justice that we as Americans are entitled to. If you could do for Britney, you could do for us too, okay? We all need justice as a disabled whole. Many of us have had way too many injustices done to us, especially as children, okay? I know I gotta fix this fucking mask, son. I'm gonna have to buy another mask. This shit's falling off. Anyway, I'm glad that y'all took the time to listen, and thank you so much, right? Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment underneath the screen and tell me what you think about this whole thing, because this is bullshit and such legal practices need to be outlawed, okay? Conservatorship and guardianship needs to end, okay? Loosen the restrictions of those that are currently under it. I mean, don't hurt them any more than they're already hurt. It's not even their fault that they're suffering, and you're going to piss on them like that? Don't. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a question underneath the screen, and I will tell you what you think once you leave a question underneath the screen, okay? Please. say a prayer for the man in the black mask, and say a prayer for Britney Spears. Her future is in y'all's hands. All y'all gotta do is say a prayer for her and keep fighting for Britney, okay? This is not her fault. Everything that was done to her, everything that she went through, is because of her father, James. If her mother's responsible, fuck her too. But you can tell the whole family tree is messed up. And Brian Spears, Britney's trustee of her estate, he ain't saying nothing. He's steering clear of the public eye. Because I bet you he's afraid of James too. I mean, yeah, this hurts, man. I am hurt and offended by everything that has happened to Britney. That could have been any of us. That could have been me. I'm a sick person, so this concerns me too. And if you're sick, you too ought to be concerned, because this could be you too. Because you never know what the courts can do. They can take a whole bunch of shit away from you, and you don't even know it. You don't even see it coming. It's like The Sopranos. When you get killed, you don't see it coming. When you die, you don't see it coming. Thank you, Brittany, and I hope you marry Sam Asghari and bear his children. You deserve to be a good mother. You are a good mother. And James Spears is a wicked father and grandfather. And did you know that James Spears hit one of Britney's sons during an argument? Yeah. I hope that came out in court too. I'm glad Britney's spilling the beans. She's tired of keeping her mouth shut. She's tired of making excuses for that fuck. He could have easily killed Britney if he had the opportunity, but thank God he didn't. And I'm also glad that Britney didn't kill James, because she could have easily done that too. Because people get tired of you fucking with them all the time. So yeah, you can expect a bullshit response. So do unto others as others do unto you. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Okay? And then you'll probably get a good net result. But if you treat them wrong, if you treat them in a way that they don't wish to be treated, you can expect to face the consequences. Do you understand? Do you all understand? Good. James Spears can go fuck himself. Straight to hell. He deserves to go to prison for the rest of his life. And I hope to God that once the conservatorship has ended, that they distribute Britney Spears' not only health records, but also, James Spears' conservatorship records. And I also hope that Britney, gets a proper diagnosis. Because I don't think she's been diagnosed properly. I really don't think she has. Because I also think that the mental health system is already broken. They just label you with shit and just throw fucking pills at you like it's fucking candy. They can label you schizophrenic, bipolar. You know what I'm saying? They don't consider anxiety or post-traumatic stress disorder or nothing of that sort, because a lot of the people's mental illnesses were rooted by physical and mental trauma. They may understand it, but they don't give a fuck. They won't treat it accordingly. So they just label you with this super bullshit so that they can cash in on a Medicaid system and everything in between, Because such labels, such as, bipolar disorder, schizophrenic, schizoaffective, there's a lot of money to be made. Those carry a lot of fucking big paychecks. The doctors can cash in on that shit, on your Medicaid if you receive it. So yeah, you ought to think about that. I mean, the whole system is fucked up. In so many words. It's just draconian motherfucking bullshit. Same for the conservatorship guardianship system. That door needs to fucking close, man. And James Spears needs to be brought to justice. And I hope to God that he messes with somebody that'll probably put a bullet in his head, because he got a big fucking mouth and he won't shut it up. That's not to say that I wish violence on other people, but it is to say that this motherfucker needs to be punished. Okay? He deserves everything coming his way. The only reason why he's petitioning to kill the conservatorship is because he knows he done fucked up on Principal Boulevard. Don't never forget that shit either. He fucked up. End of story. Don't tell me nothing else that is contradictory. Don't never fucking second guess me. The man in the black mask is right, even when he's wrong. Don't never fucking second guess me. Don't ever in your life do that to me. Now, if I have any more regarding this matter, I will bring it out. But I am going to sign off for the rest of the day, okay? And thank you for taking the time to listen to the man in the black mask. I love reading and sharing important stories with each and every one of you. Too bad I had to go away for a while, but I'm here now, okay? I am here, and I'm not going nowhere, okay? I will bring out everything that y'all like. That's why y'all like my videos, because I bring out the right stuff. Otherwise, I'd be wrong, which I'm not. But I'm glad I brought some stuff to you that y'all love. And some more stuff is going to come out on the way, too. So be on the lookout, okay? Be on the lookout. BOLO, follow. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a question underneath the screen and tell me what you think about all this. I would love to hear from you. This is a very important topic. This is my favorite topic because it dates back to the slave trade. You know, conservatorship, guardianship. You know what I'm saying? Our troubles date back to slavery. Come on. Why do you think we are the way we are? Because we went through some shit back in the day that kind of like changed us mentally and physically, that makes us stronger, or in some cases weaker. But we don't let that shit break us. Instead, we let it make us. Okay? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like, subscribe, question underneath the screen. Good luck, be well, and have a good day. Thank you for your service. Good luck to each and every one of you men in the Black Mask fam. Peace.